Good morning everyone. Today we are here to summarize the first chapter of economics from 10th class, that is development at one glance. As we know that every positive growth can be considered as the development, and there are some development goals. These are the materialistic development goal and non-materialistic development goal. Materialistic development goals are those goals which we can buy through money or which we can measure, like our salary, jewelry, our house and other luxurious items. In non-materialistic development goals are those goals which we cannot buy through money or which we cannot measure. We can only feel that development, like honor, respect, sense of security, etc. Other types of development goals are common development goals. Common development goals are those goals which are common for everyone, which are necessary for everyone, like high salary, own house, respect, honor, etc. Now, next, different development goals. Different development goals are those goals as it show that which are different for everyone. If we can take example from the same age group, and one person is belong to rural areas and the other is belong to urban areas, so we will see that development goals of both person will be differ. Next, the conflicting or clashes development goal. These are the development goals which may be development for one but may not be development for other. Like, if we can take example from a factory, we will see that labor expect high salaries or they demand high wages, but the factory owner wants the labor with minimum wages, because it reduces the production cost. Now, what are the main criteria to measure the development of an area? So, according to World Bank, PCI means per capita income or average income is the main criteria to measure the development. We can calculate PCI by divide the total income to total population. But when we choose only PCI as the main factor of development measurement, then we will find that there are many problems, because PCI does not give actual image. It means it does not tell that how many people are poor and how many people are rich. It hides disparities also, because everyone does not get the same average income. There's a big difference. It ignores other aspects of development, like per capita income does not tell us about health and education aspects. If there is a person which is rich or very rich but does not enjoy good health, he is not literate, he is not having freedom or sense of security, then it does not, or he does not call a developed person. So, after seeing these shortcomings or these problems in PCI, UNDP, the United Nations Development Program, added some other factors of development in it. These are net attendance ratio, infant mortality rate, literacy rate, and life expectancy. Infant mortality ratio is the ratio of infant who dies before 1 year of age as proportion of the living birth per thousand. Now literacy rate, we can define the percentage of literate population. Next is net attendance ratio. Net attendance ratio is the ratio of the student who are attending the school. Last one is life expectancy. Life expectancy is the average or estimate age at the time of birth in the normal condition. This shows the medical facilities or medical development of an area. Now, public facilities. What are public facilities? As we know that everyone is not able to purchase everything through money. For example, no one can make road for their own purpose. So, to fulfill these type of requirement, our government provides some basic or necessary facilities to its citizens, like medical facilities, basic education, infrastructure, transportation, banking, and others. Last topic of this chapter is sustainable development. Sustainable development means a continuous development that does not harm the environment and that does not compromising the need of our future generation. It means we should do our development but with a proper planning. We should not waste our resources. We should conserve our resources and we should find alternate from non-renewable resources to renewable resources, like thermoelectricity to hydroelectricity. I hope this chapter is clear for everyone. Thank you.